The epidemic is severe in many places in China. Amid the uncertainty and struggles China faced in the wake of lifting its severe COVID-19 restrictions, reports from several sources in early 2024 describe a country grappling with a continued public health challenge. Despite the end of draconian measures that once curtailed the spread of the virus, Chinese citizens are reporting recurrent infections, especially among children, and a concerning number of sudden deaths that have caused alarm and distress within communities. In Liaoning province, residents have voiced their experiences to media outlets with accounts of peak infection rates and heartbreaking losses, affecting young and old alike. Mr. Liu from Liaoning described the profound impact on his personal circle, mentioning the loss of 5 friends and relatives to illnesses seemingly exacerbated or caused by COVID-19, known colloquially as the Chinese Communist Party virus. Strikingly, citizens have linked these losses to cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases, conditions that have seen an uptick in the wake of the pandemic. Ms. Li from Baoding in Hebei province recounted the continual cold and fever symptoms plaguing her daughter and others in the area, with several deaths occurring after respiratory illnesses. The sudden and unexplained nature of these deaths has only added to the sense of crisis. While infections persist, the response at the state level appears to focus more on inoculation efforts than acknowledging the reported severity of the current situation, with a reticence to link the incidents directly to COVID-19 or the vaccines meant to prevent it. People like Mr. Min Fufu from Liaoning lament on the perceived undervaluing of human life as they witness colleagues and acquaintances passing away without clear symptoms or recognition from medical establishments. In Beijing, citizens like Mr. Chai highlight the strain on emergency services with the heavy demand for care surging, while Mr. Li speaks to the somber atmosphere of crematoriums, now busy with the casualties of what he refers to as white lung incidents. Adding to the societal unease, there has been talk of widespread and intensive deaths among CCP officials and Chinese elites, rising concerns that have not been formally addressed by government communications. Whether this is due to the virus directly, the stress on the healthcare system, or potential vaccine-related issues remains unclear amidst an environment of information control and censorship. As China endeavors to reinstate its economic dynamism and societal health, the balancing act between government intervention and public sentiment proves more precarious than ever. A crisis of confidence looms, not only in leadership and policy, but within the social fabric that binds the nation amidst a winter that challenges hope with each report of sudden and unaccounted loss. China's economic crisis ignites surge in labor, unrest, workers confront wage theft and unemployment. China's deteriorating economy has birthed a new wave of labor unrest, with workers pushed to the brink by widespread wage theft and unemployment. Once showcased as a harmonious model by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, the nation's social fabric now threatens to unravel under the strain. Over 1,600 worker protests were recorded in 2022 alone, according to Hong Kong nonprofit China Labor Bulletin, more than double the previous year. The pace shows no signs of abating, with disputes raging on even as 2023 dawned. Furious workers have taken to the streets as far and wide as Chongqing, Hangzhou, and Tibet. Their demands are simple: unpaid wages, owed social security benefits, and job security. But the problems are systemic. Factories teetering on the edge of bankruptcy frequently withhold salaries. Others mask unemployment with long unpaid holidays, evicting staff while avoiding compensation. As livelihoods grow imperiled, even public servants are joining the protests, no longer confident in the CCP's ability to deliver economic stability. Doctors, teachers, and Transportation Bureau staff have emerged to demand their due, shocking a nation raised on obedience. With each new demonstration, the mirage of social harmony fades further. For the CCP, the timing could not be worse. 2023 marks the centenary of the Communist Party's founding on the back of workers' struggles. Yet after 100 years, the proletariat has once again taken to the streets. Only now their ire is directed squarely at the party claiming to represent them. This irony highlights the gap between CCP rhetoric and reality. While proclaiming lofty socialist credentials and common prosperity, bureaucratic mismanagement has instead nurtured exploitation and inequality. As livelihoods falter, the social contract binding state and citizens now hangs by a thread. With no quick fixes in sight, unrest seems poised to swell in step with economic hardship. Each worker driven to desperation has nothing to left lose, and the CCP now faces its biggest legitimacy crisis since 1989. Its ability to contain and satisfy popular demands will decide if the regime can survive the collapse its policies have spawned. There are many sudden deaths from white lung disease in Liaoning. Officials concealed the epidemic. Amid the persistent COVID-19 pandemic, concerns have surfaced regarding undisclosed health issues in the Liaoning province of Xi'an. Reports suggest that a significant number of people in the region have developed mysterious health conditions, including white lung, sudden heart attacks, and cerebral infarctions. Allegations have arisen that these ailments may be linked to the sequelae of COVID-19 vaccination, raising questions about transparency and public safety. Mr. Minfu from Liaoning shared his observations, revealing that during the current wave of the epidemic, a substantial portion of school students experienced fevers, while middle-aged and elderly individuals have reportedly suffered sudden and unexplained deaths. Mr. Minfu from Liaoning: There are 3 or 4 people around me, all in their 50s and 60s, who have no symptoms and die immediately without any time to save them. Nowadays, no one acknowledges the issue of the epidemic or the vaccine, and no one talks about it. Death is natural in this country. Several residents have voiced suspicions that these health issues may be related to COVID-19 vaccinations, yet the authorities have allegedly concealed the extent of the problem, refraining from reporting it officially. Mr. Ma, a citizen of Liaoning province, stated, "In this epidemic, some people suddenly developed white lungs, and some died even when they were older. This cold is related to the epidemic, but the country does not report it, and the country does not recognize it." Furthermore, there is growing concern that the vaccine may not only fail to provide adequate protection, but may also be causing harm. Mr. Minkai from Liaoning shared, "There are a lot of white lungs. My relatives in their 70s are also in the same situation. People who get this disease usually have sequelae of the vaccine. Not only does this vaccine not work, it is also harmful." Beyond the health concerns, residents like Mr. Liu have been grappling with adverse living conditions, including heating cutoffs during the harsh winter. Such challenges have exacerbated health issues and added to the distress faced by the population. Mr. Liu, a resident of Liaoning: "I don't even have heating. Do you know how cold it is in northeast China? I am suffering from it. It's freezing. I'm just lying in bed right now. I can't stop hating you. I'll die if I die. I admit it." The harsh winter climate, coupled with the ongoing health concerns, has created a challenging environment for the residents of Liaoning, where even young students have reportedly experienced severe health issues. With limited information available and growing uncertainty, questions remain about the true extent of the situation and the steps taken to ensure the safety and well-being of the population. Mr. Jiang, a resident of Liaoning province, underscored the severity of the situation, emphasizing that a large number of students in his granddaughter's class had been affected by health issues, including cerebral infarctions and sudden heart attacks. Mr. Jiang, a resident of Liaoning: "This virus is very ferocious, and the death rate will definitely be high." As the situation unfolds, there is a growing call for transparency, accountability, and immediate measures to address the health concerns affecting the residents of Liaoning and ensure their well-being in the face of a complex and challenging situation. Canadian court bans Chinese student over espionage concerns, raises security questions. In a landmark decision, the Federal Court of Canada has upheld the refusal of a Chinese student's visa application based on concerns of potential espionage. This ruling sets a significant precedent in the realm of research security and has far-reaching implications for graduate students from China seeking to study in Canada. The case centers around Yuekang Li, a Chinese doctoral student who had been admitted to the Mechanical and Mechatronics Engineering program at the University of Waterloo, with a research focus on public health. However, his visa application was denied, and his subsequent appeal to the federal court also met with failure. Chief Justice Paul Crampton ruled that Li Yuekang fell within the definition of a non-traditional spy. The court's decision highlighted Li Yuekang's academic background, having graduated from Beijing University of Aeronautics and Astronautics, an institution known for its close ties with the Chinese Communist Party's Ministry of National Defense. Furthermore, his research field in microfluidics, while relevant to public health, raised concerns as it holds strategic importance for China's biopharmaceutical industry. The court expressed apprehensions that Li Yuekang's expertise could potentially be exploited by the Chinese Communist government for espionage purposes. This ruling has raised questions about the extent of foreign infiltration and theft of secrets by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, overseas, underscoring the importance of vigilance in safeguarding national security. Canadian national security law expert Wesley Wark has noted that this decision sends a clear message to Canadian universities to re-evaluate their admissions practices, particularly concerning students with research fields that may be of strategic interest to foreign governments. It is worth noting that the United States has also taken stringent measures against Chinese researchers in recent times. Chinese students entering the U.S. have faced lengthy interrogations, and some have even had their visas revoked. This underscores a broader international concern regarding research security and the potential exploitation of academic knowledge for espionage purposes. In response to these developments, the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs has expressed concerns about the deportation of Chinese individuals, including international students, from the United States in recent months. The situation underscores the growing global scrutiny on academic exchanges and research collaborations in the context of national security. As countries grapple with these challenges, the Canadian court's decision serves as a pivotal moment in the ongoing discussion about safeguarding research and innovation from potential espionage activities, while also raising questions about the balance between academic openness and national security. China real estate apocalypse, 10-year economic winter coming. Although major Chinese real estate companies made great efforts to boost sales during the New Year holiday this year, statistics show that the average daily sales area of new commercial housing in 40 representative cities fell by more than 20% year-on-year. Some cities saw drops of close to 90%, and the market value of nearly 90% of real estate companies has shrunk. Some economic experts pointed out that the impact of the Chinese real estate crisis may last for 10 years. According to a recent report by China Index Academy, the largest independent real estate data company in China, during the 3-day New Year holiday this year, the average daily sales area of new commercial housing in 40 representative Chinese cities fell by 26% year-on-year. The report said that housing sales were even worse in third- and fourth-tier cities, with the highest drop close to 90%. Latest data released by real estate market research company Craig shows that by the end of 2023, the cumulative monthly sales performance of China's top 100 real estate companies fell 16.5% year-on-year. Among them, 31 companies saw year-on-year declines exceeding 30%. Crick Research Center's report shows that overall, the Chinese real estate market in 2023 continued to be under pressure and remained in a low-level adjustment period. It is expected that support will be insufficient and companies' enthusiasm to launch new properties will decrease in the second half of the year. Although major real estate companies increased supply and marketing efforts at the end of the year, the property sales market did not see significant improvement. Data from Chinese financial information platform Leiyu Finance's 2023 Listed Real Estate Enterprises Market Value Increase Ranking Report, published on December 29 last year, shows that among the 159 listed real estate companies surveyed, nearly 90% have seen their market value shrink. Among them, Jingrui Holdings saw the biggest drop in market value. By the end of the year, its total market value was 540 million yuan, down over 93% from the beginning of the year. Another 12 real estate companies, including Hengsheng Real Estate, Dexin China, Evergrande, Shimao Group, and Rongxin China, saw market value declines exceeding 80%. About 30% of real estate companies saw market value drops exceeding 50%. As of the last trading day of 2023, the average market value of these 159 listed real estate companies was 10.734 billion yuan, nearly 30% lower than 15.3 billion yuan last year. There are only 4 real estate companies left with national market values exceeding 100 billion yuan, namely China Resources Land, China Overseas Land and Investment, Poly Developments, and Vanke. Some economists said China's real estate crisis may impact the next decade or more. Hao Hong, chief economist at Grow Investment Group, told American broadcaster CNBC during an interview on January 4 that China's real estate industry will undergo long-term adjustments. Hong said China's major real estate developers have collapsed under heavy debt burdens, leading to collapsed demand for and investment in housing nationwide. At the current sales rate, it may take about 2 years to sell off all real estate inventory in China, and given the 60 million square meters of housing still under construction, it may take even longer. At this rate, it may take over 10 years to clear all housing under construction, he said. As the real estate market has long been a key pillar of China's economy, its persistent downturn will bring long-lasting economic troubles to China. A recent Bloomberg analysis pointed out that due to the decline of China's real estate market, China's GDP is expected to shrink by 4 percentage points by 2026, which may result in the loss of about 5 million jobs.